right to screen, edit, or refuse content that does not align with our broadcast standards.
WMPR, 90.1 Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi.
90.1 WMPR, go to Studio B for People's Over Politics.
Oh my God. Who left the gate open? Somebody come look at this. I am Benny Foster, your independent implementer, and we live and direct on 90.1 FM WMPR. And I'm going to dare you, I'm going to challenge you to reimagine Mississippi tonight. This is our first official show, and I can tell you the reason I know this is going to be a good show, because anything and everything that could have went wrong, tried to go wrong, but I was so busy staying focused on what was going right that I didn't pay no attention to it. I need for you to understand that you've been tricked. I say you've been hoodwinked. You've been cable-toed. And we are here to shine a light on the schemes, the tactics that have kept us in the dark and divided. I say, oh my God, who left the gate open? The naked truth is out. That's right. No more gatekeeping. Mississippi, your second congressional district is the bottom 5 district out of 435 districts in the nation. I said the bottom 5. That's right. I'm talking about a Mint County, Wilkinson County, on up through Yazoo, on up by through the Delta, on up through there. You head on up there by Tunica, right before Memphis, right adjacent to DeSoto County, and we considered the bottom 5 out of 435 in the nation. We have an infant mortality rate. That's right, Mississippi has an infant mortality rate that is 9.7 deaths per 1,000 births. Yeah, man. Yeah. There's a racial crisis here, too. There's a racial crisis. Yeah. Black infant mortality is 15.2, over 3 times the national average. That's right. The national average is 5. The national average is 5. And we have a black infant mortality of 15.2, over 3 times the national average. Do I have anybody good and angry yet? Do I have anybody upset yet? Do I have anybody ready to roll their sleeves up and do something different? When it comes to maternal care, there's over 51% of our counties that are on or called or listed as a maternity care desert. That's right. I'm looking at you, those that are watching on Facebook Live, those that are watching on the Impact Channel on YouTube Live, those that are listening on 90.1 FM WMPR. I am here to bear the naked truth. They shouldn't have left the gate open. Matter of fact, they didn't leave it open. I'm kicking it open tonight. Every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m., Benny Foster, the independent implementer, and my Reimagine Mississippi team, we're going to go up through there. And I want you to understand that there's no way in the HE to the double hockey sticks that over 51% of our counties should have a maternity care desert. You know what a food desert is, right? A food desert is where there's not a grocery store or a grocery market. And so what I need for you guys to understand is you got to focus on this right here tonight. Stop worrying about who dating who, how many years they got. If they finally caught Diddy, is it going to stick? And I want you to start looking in your backyard, those that are residents in the 2nd Congressional District, the state of Mississippi. I need for you to understand that this district is not going to get better unless you decide to be a part of the change that we need. I came to help somebody tonight. I want you to understand that you have been falling for the politics. That's right. You've been falling for the politics. Understand that politics are real. The gentleman that just got off was telling you, you can't get upset with somebody for telling you that they're no longer to be a part of an organization or part of a system that doesn't win. I don't care about all of these little small wins, all of these fabricated attacks that they want to make you think is happening to you. The reason we're being attacked is because we're not progressive. I'm looking for the progressive people to move to the front tonight. That's right. I need for you to move to the front. The call-in number tonight is 601-948-5950. We're going to talk about a couple of things tonight. We're going to talk about on the heels of honoring the one, the only, Martin Luther King Jr. I have a dream. We're going to talk about what's going on with this dream. Have we achieved it yet? Or are we still just dreaming? The only thing coming to a person that sleeps all the time is a dream. Are we still dreaming? We're also going to talk about Black History Month. Yep, it's coming up. We're going to talk about our Black history versus our Black future. Oh, I came to help everybody. Again, I'm Benny Foster, your independent implementer. And that's right, if you didn't know by now, I am a candidate for the Mississippi 2nd Congressional District. My name is Benny Foster. We give honor to the incumbent, Mr. Benny Thompson, that has served 32 years in that seat. Yet, I'm here to tell you that I pray that he will pass the torch so we can reimagine Mississippi together. You can't get upset with me if I'm in a county and I just read those stats to you and I'm realizing that those stats are just the manifestation of years of neglect and years of people not doing their job. See, the congressman's seat holds 18 positions. That's right, I said 18 positions, 18 full-time and 4 part-time. You give me 22 people and I'll turn the world upside down. And I ain't got to pay them either, bro, man. Mr. Producer, I ain't got to pay them. They getting paid by the government. You give me 22 soldiers and we'll turn Mississippi right side up. You dig? So what I'm here tonight to bring to your attention, you know, there's a saying, and if this don't make you mad tonight, I don't know what else is going to make you mad. There's a saying that says, it's easier to fool the people than to convince the people that they've been fooled. That made me good and angry when I first heard that. I said, golly, they said something then. And I'm telling you tonight that the reason that you have been fooled is because people have been putting politics before the people. That's right. You got some politicians that are mad about something that happened back in 1992. They homeboy. They saw him kissing their girlfriend on the old school hall. And they still mad every time they see him. He a congressman and the other guy's senator. And they can't agree on nothing because their boy was kissing Delilah around there by that locker. And that happened back in 1992. And they will have a bill on the table. They will have legislation on the table. And they will go back and forth, back and forth. Matter of fact, they won't even talk to each other about a situation that can better you, your children, your family, your city, your community. But yet you still around here trying to see is LeBron going to stay with the Lakers. Oh, I came to run up through there. Let me through there. Help me through there. Listen, I came to let you know tonight that until you wake up and begin to research these political positions, these political candidates, until you do a thorough research. I'm not talking about what somebody told you. I'm not talking about what Democratic Party they represent. I mean, sit down, talk to them. They should have their number available. They should have their website available. You should be able to call them, meet them at Starbucks, have a conversation with them. Find out, how do you plan to bring us from a 5% out of 435 districts from bottom 5? How do you plan to bring us from one of the poorest districts in the state, in the nation? Matter of fact, what are you doing now? Don't tell me what you're going to do if you elected. If you really feel like God put you in the position, why don't you do like this guy named Benny Foster, who's out there now helping people? Who's out there now bringing information that needs to be known? Who's out there now? And I'm available to you, by the way. 601-868-5557. That's right, 601-868-5557. You can contact me any day Matter of fact, twice on Tuesday. You can contact me and I will set up a meet and greet and we will talk. We will talk about what is your issue? What is your challenge? Don't come to me talking about another candidate. I don't know them. You need to get to know them just as much you getting to know me. Get to know me. Ask me how can I help? And if I can't help, I know someone who can. So let's get into this dream thing. Oh, I got a caller already. Hold on. Let me see who we got on the line. You're tapped and tuned into People Over Politics. I am Benny Foster, the intimate, which number? The green one? Hello, caller, you on the air.
There is no call in the queue. Thank you.
Hold on. We're going to get the producer to help us out. Caller, you on the line. Caller, you on the line. You're tapped and tuned into People Over Politics. How you doing?
I just want to say, everybody that's listening to this broadcast, everybody within the sound of my voice, call the state capitol 601-359-3770 and give a message for what's their name? I had their name. I forgot their name, but that's the number to call to voice your concerns. That's the number to call to voice your concerns. We need everybody on board on this, man. The Democrats and the Republicans ain't none of them for black folks. Democrats is wigs. Ain't no Democrats. Black folks is like been brainwashing thinking Democrats is gonna help them. And Democrats ain't for us. That's really the white folks, from up north. That's all it is.
So my brother,
we gotta stick. We gotta.
My brother, can you hear me?
Stay strong, stick together.
Hello.
And realize who our enemies is.
My brother.
The Democrats ain't for us, and the Republicans ain't for us. Ain't neither one of them for us.
My brother.
You see what I'm saying? So we gotta realize that, and we gotta take action.
My brother.
We gotta hold all these black leaders that we got, black politicians that we got in power as leaders. We need to hold each and every one of them accountable. If anybody listen to my voice, if you know a black leader, anybody that's in a position.
Okay. You can't, listen, my name is Benny Foster, and let me set the rules for first night. I'm here for dialogue, not monologue. And it shouldn't take me 9 times to try to get your attention because I want to be fair to each and everybody that call. Watch this and look at me if you're watching on YouTube and if you're watching on Facebook. Do not call this station complaining if you don't have a solution. That's the #1 ground rule. Do not call People Over Politics with Benny Foster and the Reimagine Mississippi team. Do not call this station venting. Call this station and throw some information around. Throw some resources around. Some websites, some grants, some funding. Don't call here. This is not the 1-800 vent line. Okay? This is an opportunity for you to move your district, your state forward by viable information, tools and resources, and funding that has been available. Are y'all understanding the words coming out of my mouth tonight? So let's look at this dream thing. Let's look at this. Martin Luther King had a dream. Okay? The anchor of this is that he said, judge a man not by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character. Watch this, producer. No, I didn't answer. No, I didn't answer. I'm not going to get distracted. See, I'm not finna let him go on and on because what I'm finna talk about right now saying we just celebrate a man that said, judge not a man by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character. And yet you on here talking about black, white. Black and white is checkers, my brother. We playing chess. Black and white is one of the first, listen, black versus white is one of the first decisive division mechanisms that they've been using for years. Oh, you can, when I start a line, you can come up here and slap me. Okay? I stand there and take it on the chin. Black people doing more harm than black people than white people right now. And they've been doing it for years. So we can stop. I'm not trying to talk to him. I'm not. Somebody else call, I answer. The question is, why are you not yet living the dream? Why are you still judging a man by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character? Now, you just had two men on the air live saying the same thing. The Democrats and the Republicans, it's a game. Hear me and hear me good. Hear me and hear me good. The left wing and the right wing, both of them are on the same bird. I'm going to say it again. The left wing and the right wing, both of them are on the same bird. And the reason that the bird keeps flying is because you allow the left wing to flap and you pay attention, and you allow the right wing to flap and you pay attention. And when both wings flap, the bird can fly and drop bird on your head. Did y'all hear what I said? It can drop bird crap on your head. And you continuing to allow these people to play with your emotions. They tug on your emotions and they make you feel like you owe them something. You don't owe me. If I work for you, you don't owe me anything. You don't owe me anything. You should do your job. How many of you out there are going to keep taking your car to a mechanic that every time you drive off, something's still knocking up on the hood and you got to turn it back? 32 years, you have put a mechanic up under your car to fix the 2nd Congressional District, and yet your car's still knocking. I'm here to help everybody. So all these people at this Martin Luther King parade, all these people there, all these people talking about they love ML King. They fighting on social media. They mad at people that say, why y'all still celebrating this man? And I honor Dr. King. I honor any elder that went before me now. Don't get it twisted. But that don't mean we can't talk about the politics that have been putting politics over people. The name, the theme, the chief aim of this show is to show you that until we put people over politics, we're going to keep suffering the same thing that we've been suffering for decades. Your hero, my hero, Dr. Martin Luther King said, judge not a man by his color of his skin, but by the content of his character. And you won't even get to know a man to see the content of his character because you see a white man, or you see an Indian, or you see a Mexican, and you've allowed all these stigmas to prejudge someone. And I'm talking to the church folk now, judge not lest ye be judged. So stop wearing this camouflage like you believe in God. Stop wearing this, I'm a Democrat, I'm a staunch Democrat, but you're only a Democrat when it comes to voting against somebody that's white and a Republican. That's the only time you're a real Democrat. So we're going to bust it wide open tonight. Have we let party loyalty become a substitute for character? People have put their blackness, their political party, their philosophy, their opinions over what everybody should put first, which is God. Oh, I know I'm going to make a lot of people upset, but I'm also going to wake a lot of people up. I say you tapped into people over politics, not politics over people. And the only way that we're going to get out of this color scheme, the only way we're going to stop being played by this scheme is to stop looking at our skin color and start looking at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. And God don't multiply like other people. Let's see who we got on the line now. Hello, caller, you on the air?
Hey, how's it going, my man?
Oh, man, I'm blessed, man. Who am I speaking to, man? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Simpson County, my man.
Simpson County. Talk to me, my brother. The mic is yours. You got about 90 seconds. Talk to us.
I ain't gonna be long, brother. I ain't gonna be long, man. I try to listen to 94.1 all the time, man. You spitting that fire up there, my man. But I just got just a question, man. Maybe
Yes.
you can expound on it.
Yes.
Okay, you was talking about these politics. What makes these individuals that we vote in on a certain party, and then they get up in there and they break the promises that we ask them for, and then they switch over to the Republican Party? why do they do that, my man? I kind of understand why they do it, but I think everybody, a lot of these constituents, man, tired of those broken promises, man. That's why people, one factor that a lot of people don't get out and vote anymore because they tired of those broken promises, man.
Yes.
So a lot of those politicians that we vote in Democrat, and then they get up in there and make a little noise, then they switch over to the Republican Party.
Sometimes,
I ain't
no,
anything.
you good.
To get that off
You
the
good.
chest, bro.
You
I
good.
appreciate you, man.
So listen up. Thank you for calling. You the first official
All right.
caller that called in with something official. I'm gonna remember
Yes,
you,
sir.
man. You blessed, man. You are like etched in the history of this People Over Politics show. All right, you came in with a legitimate
Yes, sir.
question.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna hang up and listen to you, brother.
All
Thank you.
right, all right. So if you grew up back in the day, I grew up over off Sunset Drive. That's right, Moonbeam, the Strip. Y'all know about it. Come on, man. Y'all know about the Strip down there by the VFW, but down a little further down there. We used to go down there, and we used to have a good time, 18 to enter, 21 to drink. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I couldn't wait to turn 18, right? And when I was in high school, the gangs and the drugs were being introduced to that community. And I saw guys that were best friends, all of a sudden now, one wearing blue and one wearing red, and they trying to bust their head to the white meat over some colors, right? But I also know that a couple of brothers that were in that gang activity, that after a while, they got betrayed. They got betrayed. And they didn't just leave the gang. They didn't just leave the gang. Hold on. Caller, hold on 1 second. Caller, hold on 1 second, caller. Hold on.
Thank you.
They didn't just leave the gang. They went and joined the other gang. Now, some of you may feel like that's code switching. So what happens when your life is in danger? What happens when nobody is there to rescue you or be there for you like you've been there for them? I truly believe, my brother, that the reason some people have been Democrats and then switched to Republican, or been Republican and then switched to Democrat, is because they got tired and sick of being sick and tired of being behind the curtain, seeing what really happens behind the curtain, realizing that, hey, this thing that I joined wasn't really what I thought it was. It really is not for the people. And for some reason, they believe the rhetoric on the other side. I just said earlier, a left wing and a right wing is what causes the bird to fly. If you take one of them wings off, the bird can't fly. And this is something that psychologically they have perpetuated for so long that we run to it like it's sweet candy in the candy store. Ma'am, you're on the line. Caller, you're on the line.
Yes, sir. How you doing this afternoon?
I am awesome. Who am I speaking with? Where you calling from?
My name's Priscilla Donahue. I'm calling from the city of Jackson.
City of Jackson, District 2,
Yes, sir.
MSO2. Stand up. Talk to me.
Well, I wanted to call you and thank you for your introduction and just being the person that you are. You got people that come on in 3 times a week and they want to bash John Horn and all of this. But when Chokeway was running and Chokeway was their friend, it was okay. Nobody holds him accountable.
No.
But they have not given John Horn time to do some things. And I have already seen things that John Horn is doing, the lighting around the 220, even the mowing the lawns and trying to clean the city of Jackson up. When they had these other mayors in there, one of them were taken. Nobody talked. But now you want to hold John Horn accountable, and you haven't even given him a chance to be in office good. But already he's doing dramatic changes around Jackson. So I just want to thank you for what you're doing, and I want to thank you for not being biased. So some people want to, they want to vote for the lane and don't want you to say nothing. And if you don't say what they want you to say, they want to hang up in your face.
Absolutely.
So thank you for the opportunity. Yes, sir.
So listen,
You speak the truth.
Don't get off yet. Hold on, man. Don't get off yet. I absolutely, positively agree with you.
Yes, sir.
Our mayor, Mr. John Horn, is doing a wonderful job.
He is.
He's doing, listen to me, listen, and I don't care what people got to say. I know personally, I've been able to connect people with him and they got things done. I know personally, I've seen him running around to where he almost about to fall asleep.
Yes, sir.
Running around this city, and this city is so much better He's been in office under 200 days. And the city's streets are paved. Somebody better talk back to me. Streets are
He's
paved.
gonna turn this city around. It's
Come
gonna
on.
be a better city.
Come on, come on, sister.
I'm gonna campaign for him, and I'm gonna keep on campaigning. But when I called in some of these shows, they cut me off.
No,
they
but
want to hear the truth.
well, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You can't walk a mile in his shoes. See,
That's right, they can't.
because
They
see,
can't compare.
this
But
is
they
what I'm
wanted to
telling
defend
them.
the mayor that took from. They wanted to defend the mayor that took from.
So
this
listen,
city.
that's the
But you
past.
gonna take a
This
turn.
what I'm talking about, sister. This what we're finna talk about Black History Month. Why are we reflecting in the past when we need to be looking at our present and our future? Look at who we have. He's approachable.
Yes, sir.
You can meet with him. He has a team that you actively see moving and working. I said earlier, the congressman position has 18 full-time, 4 part-time positions. Give me 22 people that the government is paying. You're going to bet your bottom dollar. You're going to see them at your meeting. You're going to see them at your church. You're going to be able to call them. They're going to be letting me know what's going on. If I can't answer the phone, one of them will. He has a team of people. Brother Jamal, Brother Nick, them stand-up guys. I kill a rock, put a tree in the hospital by in one of them. Because I know them. And the only people that's talking about them are the ones that have not done not one thing for this city.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you understand me, sister?
Yes, sir.
So thank
Yes,
you for
sir.
calling in. You're a welcome
I
guest.
thank you what you're doing. I thank you, sir, for what you're doing.
Hey, man, it's people over politics. It's a new day. You know,
Yes, sir. God bless you.
God bless you as well.
Yeah.
Awesome caller. Awesome caller. So listen, I know somebody else said they called in. I see you out there, Zach Service, Fred Chambliss. I see you watching out there on social media. I can't see my YouTube back there. Whoever you are on YouTube, I salute. Those of you that want to call in with something positive to say. Don't call in with that rhetoric. I'm results over rhetoric. See, and a lot of people don't know my story. See, because I'm not in bed with any of these politicians. You know, they want you to think that hey, who's this guy? All of a sudden, now he trying to get Benny Thompson's seat. I'm not trying to get Benny Thompson's seat. I'm trying to get in a position that can help our people. That's what I'm trying to do. I got a call. That's what I am. Matter of fact, that's what I've done. Caller, you on the air? Talk to me.
Hey, Benny, it's Zach Service.
My brother.
Man, to talk on.
My brother.
Say what?
Hey, man. I love you, man. I'm proud of you.
I appreciate you, man. I love you too. Look, I'm using the same phone to watch you as I am to call in. So
Okay.
I'm not sure where in your conversation you just were, but you can get to me when you're done saying what you got to say.
This is where I am. You can chime in. I'm finna talk about Black history versus Black future. See, the debate is that this Black History Month, and by the way, y'all, Zach is a white guy, just so y'all know. So he's the perfect person to talk about this. Does Black History Month help us or hurt us in the modern age? And see, this is the problem, Zach. Anybody that say anything against what people feel in their heart is something good, and you're trying to show them it's not necessarily bad, but there's a way that you can build upon it. Understand that same argument that they have with you as a white guy, they have that same argument with a black guy because we're too busy putting our opinions over solutions. So the question of the night, Zach, I'm going to toss it to you first. Is Black History Month a blueprint for our future, or has it become a comfort zone that keeps us reflecting on the past while our current reality, our health, our wealth, our well-being is being stripped away? Are we honoring dreamers while ignoring our dying population? Talk to me.
Man, that's a really good question, and I think a lot of times, no matter what the issue is, we often avoid reflection on tradition because tradition is so well tied to our emotion, right? So actually, before I called, I was spending some time studying in the book of Acts, and I was reading from chapter 4 through chapter 6, and this kind of talks about when the disciples and the apostles, the day of Pentecost had come, they were doing miracles, they were out here praying, they were getting people saved, the church was growing, and the political leaders didn't like that because they were doing it in the name of Jesus. And the Sadducees and the Pharisees were two different political sects of the Sanhedrin.
Talk, Zach.
There's
Teach them.
they believe different things. Pharisees believed that the resurrection was going to happen, and Sadducees believed that there wouldn't be a resurrection. But guess what? Neither of them believed in the resurrection of Christ.
Wow.
So they were still arguing all the time. But as soon as the disciples started healing people, they healed a particular lame man who was 40 years old. And these Sadducees and these Pharisees, they got together to condemn them.
Wow.
And to say, hey, we don't care what you do, but just don't heal anybody in the name of Jesus. And it says, I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to give how I tie this into your question. It says in verse 13, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were illiterate and uneducated men, they marveled and recognized they had been with Jesus. But seeing the man who was healed standing with them, they had nothing to say against it. So when they had commanded them to go outside of the Sanhedrin, because they never want you to hear what they really think about you, they conferred among themselves, saying, what shall we do to these men? For indeed, that an acknowledged miracle has been done through them is revealed to all in Jerusalem, and we cannot deny it. But unless it spread further among the people, let us threaten them that they no longer speak to anyone in this name. And if you fast forward in verse 21 and 22, it says, because they argue, they say, look, we're not going to stop. We saw God do this. This is what God told us to do. We're going to keep doing it. So it says, when they had further threatened them, they let them go, finding no way to punish them because they feared the people. For all glorified God for what was done. For the man on whom this miracle healed was, the miracle of healing was performed was over 40 years old. Now, how do we tie that into that question? These were two, actually, even the last conversation, these were two opposing parties that came together to shut down a solution because it didn't have their name on it.
Come on.
And they were so upset because why would the Bible put in that he was 40 years old, the man who got healed? You're running for a position where we're now entering the fourth decade of the same leadership.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I live in a ward of Jackson where we've had the same person leading for now entering 4 decades, where yet we have seen no healings, no growth. We're still as divided as ever. We're still as impoverished as ever. We're still fighting black and white, Republican and Democrat, rich and poor, east side of 55, west side of 55, east side of the train track, west side of the train track, north side of north side, south side. It mentions he was 40 years old. What's that mean? They healed. These new, young, illiterate, uneducated whippersnappers came up in here and solved a problem that had been going on for 40 years. And the Sadducees and the Pharisees, the Democrats and Republicans, the white people and the black people, they couldn't solve it. But somebody came in here in a new name, under a new banner, and solved it in a matter of minutes. And that's what they were afraid of. So when we talk about Black History Month, when we talk about the parties and the differences, let's look at the facts. Whether you are on the positive side of your perception of Martin Luther King, or whether you're on a negative side of your perception of Martin Luther King, you have to give honor where honor is due. He made an impact. He moved the needle forward in a measurable way for civil rights for black people. We would agree, correct?
Absolutely.
Right. So even though, if we're being honest, there were flawed human things that were wrong that he did that are documented.
Absolutely.
But we can still acknowledge the meaningful impact that he made.
Yes.
But we have to ask, in 2026, the dream that everybody, whether you're white, black, Republican, or Democrat, if you mention his speech, you are always going to quote it. That his dream was that one day his children wouldn't be judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. But if we're really being honest, is either one of the people quoting that, whether you're a white or a black person, whatever side of the fence, do you actually live that way? Because what I experienced running for mayor is that the first thing everybody had to say about me was I'm white. And then the second thing they had to say was I was too young. And they would write me off before they even had a conversation. I would offer them my phone number, and they would say, no, I already know who you are. Well, how could you know who I am? We never had a conversation. So I don't think that it's the celebration of Black history in a month. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think looking back on what was done by the ancestors and forefathers that fought the fight is a bad thing. But I do think it's dangerous territory when we keep revisiting the past and because we have nothing to show in the present. How is it that in 2026, our cities are more impoverished, even though they have more minority leadership? How is it that in the city of Jackson, we had black leadership for 30 years, but yet minority contracts are still around 10%? At some point, we have to look for results over rhetoric. And we have to see, are these people that we're claiming that we're fighting for? Because if you're Democrat or Republican, black, white, it doesn't matter. You've always got a group that you're trying to appeal to. And the question we have to ask is, are we getting the results of these things we're participating in?
Zach,
Because
Zach, for time's sake, we're going to have to wrap up your call because we got 2 other callers that called in. Listen, you are absolutely, positively right. And I pray those will go back and look on Facebook, Benny Foster, the Impact Channel, YouTube, the Impact Channel, Foster's at the Impact Channel. Shout out to my lovely wife, Lisa Foster. She's not here. But Zach, what I want to say to you is that you've given us exactly where I want to close out the part about Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King is a hero. But what do you learn from your hero? What do you apply to your life? So no, it's not wrong to celebrate him, but wouldn't it feel better that if you looked at the fact, I'm celebrating a man that he said some things that helped me change my life? Like, why is it that we still suffering in some of the areas? Matter of fact, we may be suffering in some areas now more than what we was back then when Martin Luther King was alive. And what people don't talk about is that how some people hated on him then, when he was introducing a different way of doing things, when he was introducing a new philosophy, nonviolent marching. People was calling him crazy. So I'm calling out to the leaders out there in every county that make up the Mississippi 2nd Congressional District. Get in contact with Benny Foster in the Reimagine Mississippi team now. You can look at the Elect Benny Foster page. It's on Facebook. You can tap and tune in there. It's the Elect Benny Foster MS US for Congress. You can call the number 601-868-5557. I don't need you to do nothing but tell me what your challenges are. Tell me what your problem that you've been facing for decades. Get me in your county, and I want to meet and greet, talk to you, and we're going to leave you with some real-time solutions, okay? This is bigger than a congressional seat. It's about us waking up, shaking it off, and realize that we've been duped. We have been tricked, and if you realize the amount of people who have literally gotten upset with me without asking me one question about how I plan to make this district better, or what am I doing to make this district better. It's a shame that we've gotten to where I ain't voting nothing but Democrat. I don't care if we poll. I don't care if we ain't got this. I don't care if we ain't got that. I'm not voting nothing but I am a Republican. My daddy was a Republican. I'm going to die a Republican. We got to come out of it. Hold on. Caller, you on the line. Talk to me. You're tapped and tuned into People Over Politics. I'm Benny Foster, the independent implementer. What you got?
Okay. To help out is, it's not about a white and black thing. And what our ancestors did back then, and especially Martin Luther King, I salute that. And what we need, what Martin Luther King did, if y'all want to talk about history, you can get all the education that you want, all the degrees that you want. But the solution is, all the degrees that you might have, but if you don't use common sense, then you don't got jack. So what I'm saying is, this black and white thing, and talk about killing each other and trying to find a solution. The first way you can find a solution is stop shaking and faking, and most of all, put the Lord first. No, ain't nobody nobody said nothing about the Lord, and that's what we're getting away from because he's the only one that can change.
My brother, you must not have been listening. We've been talking about the Lord the whole broadcast. The young man just got off talking about the Lord, brother.
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, he's the only one, but that's what we need to do.
My brother, let me ask you something. And my bad, where are you from? Where do you live?
I live in Jackson.
Okay. Is there something going on in Jackson right now that you feel like needs to be handled? Is it something that we can make better? That's my question to you right here, right now.
Okay, a lot of things. One thing is
Give me one.
Water price.
Give me one. Okay, so you can contact me. Listen, sir. Listen.
Okay.
Listen. See.
Okay.
My number is 601-868-5557. You text me your name. I think your name. I don't want to call your name on the air if you don't want to call. But I can see your number.
My name is Rodney Spears.
Rodney Sears, okay. I have water filtration systems and water repair grants that I can send to you. And me and you can have coffee, tea, or milk. We can sit down for some tea and crumpets if you like. And I will share this information with you for you and your community. Are you open to that?
Okay.
Are you open to that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so my number again is 601-868-5557. I don't have a pen. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take a picture of this number that you calling me from, and you're gonna hear from me directly after this show, okay? That's the first thing, man, you're gonna take care of. And whatever else we got next in line, we'll talk about that when I meet you. How about that? See, this is what I'm about. This is what I've been doing since before I even came back to Jack.